Welcome to class, everybody. All right. All right, we have f and g defined by the tables. This one's not so bad. This will be way better than the previous video with the palm trees. So think about this. This is what I would do to make my life a lot easier. If this is my x and this is my f of x, then if I do this is f inverse of x, right? If I plug, all right, maybe I'll just show you. So what does this say? This is saying f inverse of -4. So this is asking which f of x gives us -4, right? So what x do I plug in to get -4 for this one? 5. Because f inverse of -4 is 5. Okay. 5's the final answer. It's just saying, how did I get... So you're kind of switching these around, right? You've been reading tables your whole life, but now we're switching them. It's saying, how do I get there? How do I go? Where did I come from? Yes. All right. How about g inverse of 6? That's saying, which g of x equals 6? Which g of x gives us 6? 8. When x is 8. It actually means that if you water the tree 5 gallons, then it'll grow 3 inches in a day if it's Tuesday in a waning gibbous moon. All right. Yeah, that'll be on the test. All right. G of 1. Now, that's not an inverse, right? So I go to my g, and g of 1 is -3. So I'm doing f inverse of -3. And that's saying, where is f of x? When does f of x equal -3? Really? It's kind of, like I said, these always remind me of like escape room. Like this would be something like using these tables get from like, if you've ever done escape room. I think so. I think there's one in the backs that opened around COVID times, right? Yeah, yeah, they closed a while ago, I think. All right, what's f of 0? -1. So I'm doing g inverse of -1. Oh no, now the people on the video machine will know where I am about. Yep, I live in Caseville. All right, what's g of... I tell you what, we're going to go down up to Caseville. All right, what's g... When is g of x equals -1? 4. I don't need to... Get out of here. All right. So how do you guys feel? Any questions on that? No. Take your time. These are the type of questions too that when you see them on the test, I guarantee all y'all double check like 3 times to be like, oh, I think I did it. Did I do it? Taking my time. It is a time. The big one's a time test. 3.5 hour test, pre-calc. Yeah. It's been. Alright. No, don't say that. That'll actually. Alright. Let's look at. Alright. Number 1 most common mistake made on these is problems like this. When we get to rational functions. And solving these is going to come up a bunch. And people freak out when they see it. Because they get themselves in like a circle. Exactly. It's like my high school reunion. 2 x's. So, find its inverse. We need, no, it's one of the 2 is true. So, what do I do with my x and my y to find my inverse? You swap them, right? Right? Now, I need to get y by itself. Again, this is a type of problem that people struggle with in Algebra 2 and Algebra 1 and in Calc. Anytime I teach Calc, I have to go over this multiple times, so don't feel bad the first time you see it. So right away, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to multiply both sides by y plus 2. Get rid of, make it not irrational anymore, right? Can I do that? Yeah, I can. That's an implied parentheses. Okay. So those cancel, right? So I get x times y plus 2 equals 2y plus 3, right? For kicks and giggles, let's get rid of all my parentheses, right? Let's get wild. So I get xy plus 2y equals 2y plus 3. Oh, 2x. That's 2x. How are you going to get y by itself? Divide by 2.
Divide by what?
Divide by y. Then that'll be 2x over y and 3 over y. How do I get y by itself? Subtract. What do you guys want to
Multiply by 0.
multiply by 0? If I multiply both sides by 0,
It's 0.
it's 0 equals 0, and that's a good thing.
0 is
Get out of here. All right. What? Help me out, though. What should I do? I'll subtract the 3. Why not? So I'm going to do xy plus 2x minus 3 equals 2y. Okay. Now what? How do I get y by itself?
Divide by 2.
Oh, just y.
Hmm. That's right. You have to get all your y's on one side, right? So I'm going to move that over too. Do you agree? Can I do that? I can do whatever I want. Somehow. Once you get everything with a, what can I pull out of both of these?
Y.
No, what can I pull out of it? Stop asking. Can I pull out a y? That's one number, isn't it? I know there's a variable in it, but it's one number. So what can I do to both sides of it? Divide, right?
Yeah.
So I get 2x minus 3 over 2 minus x equals y. What are we going to call y, though? Yeah. If it was less to right, I would never plug in y. Just plug in f inverse of x and when you solve it. When you get a rational function, you always need to move all your things with y on one side and factor it out and divide. Because your inverse of a rational function is a rational function. Okay? I don't think they're the same. They should look similar. They should. Do you guys want proof?
No. I believe you.
All right. You guys want to see something neato?
Yeah.
Why'd they have me find the inverse before I found it? Actually, watch this. A review of domain and range. What's my domain of this up here? What can't my bottom be? -2, right? And because my bottom cannot equals, not a whole, it's an asymptote. It's the whole asymptote. So x can't be -2, right? So my domain would be from -infinity. This is a nice review from earlier days when you guys were all like, this is going to be a great class and I'm going to have a great time. And then reality set in and every day you regret your decisions. And the bottom, if I plug in -2, the bottom I get 0. I can't divide by 0. What about my range?
A lot of math.
What's my horizontal asymptote? I have to use, I don't have any holes. What? What's the horizontal asymptote? What's my biggest power on top and bottom? Are they the same or different? Same. So what's 2 divided by 1? 2. So my horizontal asymptote is y equals 2. So that means if I were to graph this, what happens at y equals 2? I jump over it, right? So my range would be from negative infinity to 2 to infinity. Now, could I found my domain and range using my inverse? What can't my bottom be on my inverse? 2.
So it's the
Remember, range and domain are the same. What's my domain and my inverse? You didn't have to find this, but let's think about it. My domain would have been from negative infinity to 2, and then 2 to infinity, right? It works. Math works. You didn't have to find the domain range. This is actually a review question, just to bring it up, because it's going to come back up. Yeah, what's up?
How do you find the horizontal asymptote?
Leading it's 2 over 1. You take your leading coefficients and divide them, if the powers are the same.
That's right.
Yeah. You could also plug in a huge number and see what you get. You'd probably get 2. If you plug in like 1,000,000, you'll get about 2. All right. What a fun problem this was. Bye-bye. Just try to remember, if you get a problem with 2 variables and you can't get rid of them, move them to one side and factor it out. All right? That will work. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. We just did a problem like this, but let's do it again, because this is going to come up. We did it in the warm-up. You remember camera machine? Find the inverse of 2 minus x squared. Let's graph it first. That'll be helpful. What's negative x squared look like? Upside down parabola, right? Like me? Like an upside down parabola, right? Because the negative flips it. What's this positive 2 do to it? Up 2. Right? If it helps you to rewrite the order of this, you could do it's negative x squared plus 2. You know what I mean? Because it throws people off not to see the sign in front. But we should be getting to the point x squared, negative x squared. You should be able to graph those without a calculator, okay? I can't find the inverse of that, so what do? Cry?
divide by.
Divide by 2. If I find the domain and range of my original function, will that tell me how to limit my inverse? Yeah, let's find the domain and range of it. That'll help me. So I'm going to take my f of x by 2 minus x squared and find the domain and range. Because remember, my range is going to be the domain of my inverse. So what's my domain of this? All reals, or negative infinity to infinity. Both are acceptable. What's my range on this? Negative infinity 2. Can I reach 2? Yeah, you can. Because we can't go above it, right? Boom. Find the range of your original, and that will give you a restriction on your inverse. Okay? So for my inverse, what's going to be my domain? Negative infinity to 2, right? So I have to think about its x is less or equal to 2. So I'm only going to graph the left side of it. Okay? So with my original function, I'm not going to... Do I need to cut that off? Let's graph the... I'll show you. Let me try to teach something today. I'm going to try something different. So what's my inverse now? I'm going to actually find it. So I switch my x and my y. Can you guys see that green marker up here? All right. Subtract 2. Flip all my signs, right? Divide by negative 1. square root it. So my f inverse of x is going to be square root of negative x plus 2. Let's see if we did it right. I could probably graph this. I'm restricting the domain, right? Because technically this would be plus or minus. Do you agree on that? But I'm only going to do when x is less than or equal to 2. So I'm just going to do from here on over. Okay? Now think about this. Let's see if we can do this graph without using mirrors. Square root of x looks like this, agreed? At 0, 0. Do you agree on that? It's just a normal. It's a half or parabola that starts at 0, 0. What's that negative x going to do? Flip it this way or this way? To the left, right? What's the plus 2 going to do? Left 2, right? All right, let's do it. So I go left 2. Make sure I did it right. Check it. 2 minus x. That's what I got. Yeah. Why does that graph not look like that? Oh. You move it left 2 and then you flip it. You move it left 2 and then you flip it. So if I move it left 2 and then I flip it, where's that 2 go? Here. You move it. No. So you move it left 2. So don't graph that. And then you flip it. Because then doesn't match. Yeah. Now, I drew my first parabola really wrong. But if I rotate this around 180, do they match? Yeah. Was there a way I could have graphed that without doing this? Yeah, you just take a half a parabola and you start at 2 and you go to infinity, right? Because that's what we're doing. You didn't have to do what I did there. I'm just trying to do it as a review to be like, how would I graph this using transformations? Okay. All right. Nope, you don't, because you can't have the other line. Because it wouldn't be a function. It wouldn't pass vertical line test.
So we just have to automatically know that over.
I erased the wrong side. One second, I'm going to try to actually graph this function, how it would look. Does that work? Don't feel, we're okay. You'll be okay. Just don't feel emotions. No, feel all the emotions. That's okay. Infinity to infinity. Oh, no, you count the negative infinity, be 0 to infinity. Yeah, because we have to cut that. I'm not too worried about that one. Worry about finding the inverse and restricting your domain. That's important. This.
There now.
Why? What do you guys think? Read it.
Negative 2 is
What do you think? Are these inverses?
That's good.
Are they? They're 1 to 1. Are they inverses?
Because x on the key is not 3.
So if, I would say no. If inverses, then, if inverses, I'm going to add this, and f of 3 equals 5, then what's g of 5 have to equal? Yeah. These have to be flipped of each other. That's it. Are they? No, because my x and y is not flipped. They're not inverses. I can say that definitively. The end. I forgot my watch today. Break. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow. How long was that?